you looking to save yourself some time at work? Today we are delving into the world of efficiency, where small changes can make big impacts. If you are ready to discover game-changing strategies to help you bring out the highest productivity possible, then this video is for you. Let's get started. Today we are unleashing the power of efficiency, and we are diving into some insider tips to help you conquer your to-do list and achieve your success faster than before. So let's dive into some of these tips. This first tip is the one that I utilize the most and personally my favorite. Let's talk about this time-saving superhero. Document templates. It takes those repetitive tasks and turns them into a simplified breeze. By creating templates, you can save precious time, reduce errors, and increase consistency. These babies can be customized to fit your specific needs, allowing you to focus on the real game changers so that you aren't stuck doing mundane tasks over and over and over, and you can accomplish the bigger things. So here's how I go about doing this. Every single document that comes across my path, I ask myself two questions. One, do I like the document structure? And two, is this something I might use in the future? If the answer is to yes to either one of those, I will nab that guy and make it into my own template. I do this by saving myself a copy, and in some cases I will actually save a copy of the original too if I feel like I want that to be a reference. In that copy that I saved for myself, I just kind of wipe it out and put a little clean slate template, and then bam, I'm ready to go. Next, we streamline your workflow by getting rid of those unnecessary obstacles that might be slowing you down. And this is how we do it. Identify bottlenecks that are hindering your progress and eliminate any unnecessary steps that you can. So what are some of the bottlenecks you might be handling? Let's discuss some common ones and how we can handle them. One common bottleneck is the time-consuming task of manual data entry. One way to fix this is to suggest or implement tools that will automate the entries for you. In most cases, I have found the secret lies in the tech we have today. So the Microsoft, the Outlook suites, the Google suites. There are so many powerful features to this particular software. I think that we are often underutilizing their abilities. And so I would suggest taking some time to learn more about the software you currently have access to and how it can help you automate different tasks in your work. Another bottleneck that we have is communication gaps. Communication is the key to success in almost everything. Communication gaps slow down progress and create confusion. To close the communication gap, you want to communicate frequently and openly with your colleagues on projects and tasks that you're working on. Also want to set reminders to help you remember to follow up on important things and help follow up on your colleagues on next action steps. Also want to make sure that everything that you're sharing is in a very transparent location. That way it doesn't matter who it is, if it's your manager, your colleagues, or anyone else that needs to get that information, such as your vice president, make sure that that's available to them in a most transparent location as well. One of the ways I handle this is I like to schedule follow-ups so that they automatically go out and I don't have to remember to do it. Just remember, if you do set follow-ups to be sent out at specific times, that you'll want to make sure that you cancel them if your colleagues do give you the information. I also love to put progress trackers directly in the document so everybody can see where it's at. On the very top, just before the actual document starts, I'll just write a little quick checklist with check boxes, and then I will link references to any meeting notes that I had in relation to that particular project that I'm working on. This helps with transparency, and anyone who accesses this document immediately knows where you are in the process. Let's talk about our next bottleneck, inefficient workflows. Oh my gosh, these are my pet peeve. I get so frustrated when I have to work through an inefficient workflow, and I imagine you get frustrated too. So what can we do about that? To help you identify these, you want to take a look at your work stream and ask yourself, is there anything being duplicated? Anything that I could have done earlier in the project that would have saved me a lot of time later on? Learn from those particular things and streamline those and your work going forward based on those learnings. I would suggest taking a look at your personal workflows first and seeing what you can streamline. One of the things that I personally streamline is my updates. I have to give out multiple updates to different people, and each update provides different information. So I accumulate one update, and then from that one update, I just chunk out those little pieces that are relevant to different partners, and I send them only those pieces. That said, when you do have ideas on how to improve the work streams, share that with your leadership, but just be sure to outline the benefit to them so that they'll be more likely to buy in. This next bottleneck goes right in line with the underuse of the current tools that we have. That is automation. There are so many things that we can automate to help save ourselves time from having to do repetitive tasks or even remind ourselves to do things later. For example, I shared earlier how I like to set up reminders in advance so that those are automated and go out. I don't have to think about sending those. So if you notice any processes or tasks that you're doing that can benefit from automation, try to find ways to utilize the software that you have to automate those as much as possible. The more you automate, the less time that you are actually having to spend on the task itself. That time accumulates to become a larger chunk of time, giving you back more time in your life. Here's a few examples of things that you can automate today. 1, reminders. 2, your email filtering and organization. And then 3, those document templates we talked about earlier. One of the other bottlenecks we have is unbalanced workflows. This is where boundaries come really key. That is saying no to things that you can't take on, or at least always notifying your leadership team that you have a plethora of stuff and which one would you like me to deprioritize. So when your leadership comes to you with more stuff and they're asking you to take on more tasks, push back and say, these are all the things on my list, which one would you like me to not get to? And that way they can see the full scope of what you have. If there's ways that you can talk to your leadership about balancing the work better amongst you and your colleagues, have those conversations. They're tough, but they're worth it. So now let's hit another strategy, which is moving meetings along. Raise your hand if you have ever attended a never-ending meeting that has left you drained and confused. I think we all have. A few reasons why this happened is number one, people aren't setting agendas, and number two, we aren't staying on task. So what you can do to help is make sure that there is an agenda for every single meeting that you personally run. And then also for every meeting that comes your way, ask for an agenda. If there is no agenda provided to you for this meeting, ask for the agenda. And if they can't give you the agenda, don't go to the meeting. Instead, let them know that you have another conflict and ask them to reach out to you personally with any next steps that are required and to record the meeting for later. And if you're in a meeting and you are finding that people are getting off talk and they are not staying on topic, don't hesitate to ask people to relocate that discussion to a different forum. This can be done by saying, hey, can we schedule another meeting to discuss this in deeper because it needs more attention, or can we take this async? In most cases, you'll find people are totally okay with taking things into separate meetings or into a different forum, and just remind them of the agenda and where you are now. Usually you'll find people are really good about getting back on agenda if they know that they can discuss that particular topic that's bothering them in a later discussion. If you are somebody who takes most of your meetings virtual, as I do, there is one tip that I also read that I will just share here, and that is to use the speaker view to reduce the Zoom fatigue that happens. Yes, Zoom fatigue is a real thing. So let's dive into some concepts now around taming your digital world. We all know email messages can get pretty wild out there, so there are definitely some things that we can do to help be more efficient with that. And I'm sure you might have heard the classic tips of batching your emails. Batching your emails will save you so much time overall. If anything you aren't able to get to right away, you just make sure you put that on your agenda and note a specific time that you're gonna get back to it later. Another concept that I wanna present to you is working through your instant messages, which I really feel like that is the most craziest thing that happens right now. I hear about Slack getting out of control, and I imagine Teams gets just as out of control. One of the things that you can do to help manage that is work what I call from the bottom up. That is going through your saved items first to make sure that everything is pretty much current and keep things top of mind. The other thing that you want to do is look at any mentions to see if there's any call outs or actions that you might need to add to your list. From there, you would then handle the direct DMs. So anyone who's directly DM'd you because they need a faster response. If you're not able to get back to them, just let them know and say, hey, I can't answer that right now, but I can get back to you later. People are so good as long as you just let them know that they're still in your thoughts, and then write down what it is that you've got to do so that you can get back to it later. And then the last piece is reading all the other unread messages. Those are usually the just FYI messages. And then from there, you can just kind of note anything that you need to reference. Skim the ones that are important, skip the ones that aren't. Your time is valuable and how you spend it matters. It's really important to minimize distractions and stay as laser focused as you can on the things that you're trying to accomplish. And to do that, you want to make sure that you are very strategic with how you're planning your time. If you are able to block out segments to actually respond to those emails and then not respond to them any other time, that is the way to go. One of the other things we can do to be more strategic at work, and this is going to sound a little counterintuitive, but it is to take breaks. Our world is so fast-paced. It is so easy to get caught up in those whirlwinds, and the best thing you can do for yourself, and it might sound counterintuitive, but is to take a break. Taking regular breaks improves your productivity, and improves your focus, and improves your energy. It also gives you the space that you need from the whirlwind of chaos to actually think through strategically how you're going to respond to it rather than being forced to instantly react to it. It also allows you to recharge and regain that energy that you need to get back into your workday and be able to function at a much higher level. So while it sounds a little counterintuitive, taking breaks as often as you can, I would say just 5 minutes at least every hour, if possible, is the best way to go. Another thing you can do to be strategic about your workflow is learn to say the word no. Say it with me. No, 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 no. This was probably one of your favorite words when you were a toddler, but as we become adults, we tend to say it less and less and less. Drawing those boundaries for ourselves helps to prevent us from getting overloaded. So saying no is the best thing you can do for yourself in many situations. Even if it's, I'm not gonna respond right now, I'll respond later. I'll get back to you. Let me think on it. You want to avoid overcommitment and stress by being realistic about your workloads, making sure that you're prioritizing your objectives and commitments first. You wanna stay focused on what truly aligns with your objectives and goals. Don't get distracted by other people's requests. And to do that, you need to set boundaries by saying no. But there is one more thing that you can do to help keep you motivated and help continue to build the momentum, and that is tracking your wins. Keep a daily accomplishment log. Every single day, write down all of your small wins. This helps you build momentum, it helps increase confidence, and it helps you keep going in the direction that you want to go. We've covered a lot in this video and how you can be strategic in approaching your work. If you have any questions, please put those in the comments below and I'll respond. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like more content like this, please subscribe. Thank you.